This city never sleeps. New York, a symbol of freedom, money, and dreams. But before it became the world's global capital, it was just a small settlement in the swamps, inhabited by the native Lenape tribe. Over time, Dutch traders arrived, named the place New Amsterdam, and built the first brick and wood houses. No one at the time would have guessed that a city was being born that would become the heart of Western civilization. Today, we're going to travel back in time and trace its amazing journey, from a colonial port to a skyscraper metropolis. From Ellis Island to the Statue of Liberty, from the Wall Street Stock Exchange to the September 11th attack. It's a story of dreams, downfalls, courage, and rebirth. This is New York, the city that built America. Before European ships showed up, the Lenape people lived in what is now New York. They were peaceful hunters and fishers who called Manhattan Mannahatta, which means island of many hills. Their lives were all about nature. They hunted, fished in the Hudson and East Rivers, traded with their neighbors, and believed that people belonged to the land, not the other way around. In 1624, the Dutch arrived and started a colony called New Amsterdam. They wanted to build a trading port to control the fur trade in the New World. 2 years later, they made a famous deal. They bought the island of Manhattan from the Lenape for goods worth about $24 today. This was one of the most important agreements in history, the moment when a quiet island started to become a global trading hub. No one knew yet that this small port at the edge of the world would become the heart of modern civilization. In 1664, English ships sailed into the harbor of New Amsterdam. The Dutch didn't stand a chance. They gave up the colony without a fight. From that moment on, the city got a new name. New York, in honor of the Duke of York, who would become King James II of England. New York quickly became one of the most important ports in all the colonies. Ships brought goods from Europe and left with loads of wood, furs, and cotton. The streets started to grow, and the first shopping areas and markets popped up along the docks. During the Revolutionary War, the city was a place of fierce battles between British and American troops. After the colonies won, New York became a symbol of a new beginning. In 1789, it became the first capital of the United States, and George Washington took his first presidential oath here on the balcony of Federal Hall. That's when the legend of New York was born, a city of freedom, courage, and hope, a place where everything begins. The 19th century brought New York City incredible growth. The city became America's gateway, a place where millions of dreams passed through. Ships from Europe, full of families who had left everything behind, arrived at the port on Ellis Island. The Irish fled famine, the Italians poverty, Poles and Germans wars, and the Chinese sought fortune on the other side of the world. Everyone had the same goal: to build a better life. When their eyes first saw the Statue of Liberty, many cried. Her torch was a symbol of hope, that a new chapter was beginning, freedom and equal opportunities for all. But the dream often crashed into a harsh reality. Newcomers ended up in crowded neighborhoods like the Lower East Side, where sometimes a dozen people lived in one apartment. They worked 12-hour days in factories, ports, and workshops, for very little money. Despite this, they were the ones who built the city's foundations. Their sweat, effort, and determination made New York the heart of the American dream, a place where everyone could start fresh. At the start of the 20th century, New York became what it is for the world today, a symbol of progress, courage, and constant movement. Streets started filling with cars and the sky with steel and glass. The first skyscrapers went up, like the Flatiron Building and later the majestic Empire State Building, which was the tallest building in the world for many years. In 1904, New York's subway opened. The first trains dove underground, connecting neighborhoods that were once miles apart. It was a symbol of being modern. The city never slept, because someone was always going somewhere. On Wall Street, money started flowing like a river. New York became the financial heart of the world, where a fortune could be made, or lost, in just one night. But with the wealth came a shadow. Gangster groups controlled alcohol, gambling, and politicians. The streets were ruled by underground legends, from Al Capone to Lucky Luciano. Meanwhile, in Harlem, music the world had never heard before filled the air. Jazz was born, and with it, a whole generation of artists, poets, and dreamers. This was the other side of New York. Creative, full of feelings, and rebellious. But in 1929, disaster struck. The Great Depression shook the world. The stock market crashed, banks failed, and thousands of people lost everything they had. Homeless people slept in parks, and soup kitchens served thousands of meals every day. The city of dreams, for a moment, became a city of survival. New York didn't give up, though. Because if this city teaches you anything, it's that even after the biggest fall, it always knows how to get back up. After World War II, New York City truly became the center of the New World. While Europe was still recovering from the war, here, the economy, culture, and hope were all booming. In 1945, the city became home to the United Nations, a symbol of global peace. The UN's skyscraper by the East River was a reminder that important decisions affecting the whole planet were made right here. The 1950s and 60s were a time of amazing creativity. New York was full of life. Broadway lit up with 1,000 lights, Charlie Parker's saxophone-filled jazz clubs, and Andy Warhol's pop art was born in art studios. Movies that defined an era were made, and the city became a stage for freedom, art, and rebellion. But beneath all the sparkle, there were problems. As wealthy residents moved to the suburbs, the Bronx and Brooklyn started to fall apart. Crime went up, gangs took over the streets, and in the 1970s, New York was almost completely broke. At the same time, new social movements began. Protests against the Vietnam War, the fight for civil rights, feminism, and a youth revolution. The city, which had faced a big crisis, once again showed that its strength comes from its diversity, from the people who believe that even from chaos, something beautiful can be born. September 11, 2001. A day that will forever be etched in history, not just for New York, but for all of humanity. The morning was calm and sunny. People were going to work, kids were going to school, and Manhattan was bustling like any other day. And then, 2 planes cut through the sky. Moments later, the World Trade Center towers, a symbol of America's power and modernity, were engulfed in flames. Fire, smoke, screams, chaos. Almost 3,000 people died. Office workers, firefighters, police officers, passers-by. The whole world watched their TVs in silence, unable to believe what was happening. New York plunged into mourning, and its heart, Lower Manhattan, became a place of unimaginable tragedy. For days, the smell of smoke and metal hung over the ruins. The city stood still, but only for a moment. Soon, residents began to help each other, creating a community like no one had ever seen before. From the ashes, a new symbol was born. One World Trade Center, the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. Right next to it, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum was built, where water flows down into 2 black pools, in the very spot where the towers once stood. It's not just a monument to the victims, but also a testament to hope, courage, and rebuilding. New York proved something amazing back then, that even after the greatest tragedy, it can get back up, dust itself off, and say, "We are here, and we will never give up." Today, New York is the heart of the world, a city where cultures, languages, and stories from all over the globe mix together. More than 8 million people live here, representing over 180 nationalities. Each one brings their own traditions, dreams, and goals. Times Square is a symbol of sparkle and fancy. Lights, ads, people rushing everywhere. Central Park gives a break from the city noise, a place where you can sit, relax, and watch city life go by. Wall Street still sets the pace for the world's money matters, and every day here is a fight for success and new chances. But New York is also a city of opposites. On one side of the tall buildings live billionaires, investors, and business stars. On the other, homeless people fight to survive, and loneliness and stress are still a part of daily city life. Among the neon lights, cars, and crowds are artists, musicians, dreamers. People who are trying to leave their mark on this huge city. New York isn't just a spot on a map, it's an energy, a heartbeat, and a spirit that keeps you awake. Every corner, every street, every bridge tells its own story, a story of survival, new ideas, and constant movement. It's a city that never stops living, inspiring, and surprising. Because if you want to see what a mix of history, culture, and human drive looks like, you have to come here. New York is a city made from the dreams of people from all over the world. Each neighborhood has its own special feel, from artsy Soho to lively Queens to fancy Manhattan. Every accent, every chat, every smell on the street tells a different story, making a cool mix of city life. This is where religions, cultures, and traditions meet. Synagogues next to mosques, restaurants serving food from all over the world, theaters, art galleries, and music that fills every corner of the city. New York is like a tiny version of the whole planet, full of opposites, rich and poor, fancy and simple, happy and sad. It has gone through wars, fires, money problems, and terror attacks, but it always gets back up. It's a city that teaches you that no matter what tough stuff happens, people can create, dream, and rebuild their lives in the middle of all the craziness. New York isn't just a big city, it's a sign of strength and energy that never goes away. Everyone who comes here feels its heartbeat and knows that this place changes how you see the world. New York is a city that never gives up. It's a city built by dreamers, immigrants, business people, and rebels who wanted to make a difference. Everyone who comes here leaves a piece of their story, their dreams, passions, successes, and failures. And the city remembers everything. With each year, it becomes richer in stories and experiences. Today, New York isn't just skyscrapers and Times Square. It's the heart of culture, money, and dreams, a place that inspires people from all over the world. If you could visit New York in any time period, which one would you choose? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care. Until next time.